boys and girls. Welcome to Science for Life for grade 4 pupils. I am Dirani Narain, and today we will learn more about science. So get ready to have lots of fun because science is cool, it's awesome, and it is all around us. Remember to investigate, explore, and ask lots and lots of questions. Here on your screen, I have two pictures. I would like you to tell me the name of the picture and also what is different between these two pictures. The first picture is a plant. Very good. The second picture is an airplane. Now, what is different between the plant and the airplane? Very good. The plant is alive and the airplane is not alive. Now think about it. Why you're telling me the plant is alive and the airplane is not alive? Very good, because you could see the plant there is growing. Can an airplane grow? No. So therefore, that is why we say plants are alive and the airplane is not alive. So our topic for today will be based on the characteristics of living things. Time to investigate. The first characteristic is movement. If you look at the picture at the top with the plant, the first picture is showing you the plant is open. And in the second part, it is closed. Now, how did it happen? Of course, the plant had to move, right? Look at the picture at the bottom with the cheetah. As you could see there, the cheetah is moving. Isn't that so? It's moving. So you could say both living things, plants and animals, move, right? So the one characteristics of living thing is that they could move. 2, irritability. In simple form, you could say living things respond to stimulus. Now, if you look at the picture at the top, it has a plant with somebody touching it. And as they touch it, it's closing in. Now, that is because it is responding to a stimulus, right? If you look at the picture at the bottom, it's a boy. Tell me what is happening to the boy at the bottom there. He's feeling cold. Excellent. How do you know he's feeling cold? Because he has on a taupe, he has on a scarf, and he's hugging himself, right, to keep himself warm. Now, he is also responding to the temperature that is outside his environment. So, both plants and animals respond to a stimulus. Another example is that if you try to touch a hot pot, right, what will you do when you touch this hot pot? You will pull your hand away. Very good. That is responding to the stimulus. The pot there, the hot pot, is the stimulus, right? 3, another characteristic of living thing is nutrition. Or you could say all living things feed. The first picture I have there is the plant. You ever seen a plant eating food? No. But how can we say they feed? Plants, they have this process that they call photosynthesis. And photosynthesis is the process where plants make their own food using sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide, right? And in the second picture there, you have a bird eating an orange. So, plants make their own food, and animals depend on other animals for their food, right? So, we could all say all living things feed. 4 is growth. Or we could simply say all living things grow, right? Look at the first picture there. It's the life cycle of a frog. This cycle started with the eggs. And from the egg, it started to grow into a tadpole into a young frog, and then into this adult frog. It shows there that they grow, right? And in the second picture, you see a plant. And you're actually seeing the stages that the plant is going through. It started from the seed, then into a seedling, and then you get the plant there. So we could all say that living things grow. 5. Respiration. All living things respire. If you look at the lion in the first picture, you're seeing vapor coming out of his nose there. That is, he is respiring. You also respire. Isn't that so? Plants, look at the picture at the bottom, you have plants there. Plants also respire. And this occurs mostly during the nights where they take in the oxygen and they release the carbon dioxide. So we could simply say all living things respire. 6. Reproduction. All living things reproduce. Reproduce means to produce new ones of the same kind. Now if you look at the picture at the top, there was an egg, and from this egg we got a chick, and this chick grew into a hen. So this hen reproduced and get another chick, right? And at the bottom there, you have a fruit there that has a seed that is hanging out. That's a cashew. And from that, it comes from plants. To get a new plant, you could plant that seed and you're going to get a new plant there growing, right? So that means that plant there is going to get a little plant growing just like it. So both plants and animals reproduce. And number 7, excretion. All living things give off waste. If you look at the top picture, there's a plant and you have water droplets on the leaves of the plant. Now, plants give off excess water in a process called transpiration, right? And at the bottom there, you have a dog and it is urinating. Now, it is also giving off waste product from the body that it does not need, right? So all living things give off waste, which is called excretion. Now here's a video to help you better understand the characteristics of living things. As you watch the video, try to answer these questions. 1. Do you think everything around you is alive? If your answer is no, list 2 things that are not alive. 2. Give 2 reasons why the things you listed are not alive. And 3. List the characteristics of living things.
Look at this fish swimming in the sea, or this bird up a tree. What about a bacteria? Or even a bumblebee? Don't worry, I won't rhyme for the entire video, but the amazing diversity of life on planet Earth is truly staggering. There are estimated to be between 5 to 10 million different living species on the Earth, and that's excluding all the bacteria, as they are really hard to count. So what do they all have in common? What makes something a living thing? Well, scientists have found that all living things, from the simple little amoeba all the way up to a big tall giraffe and everything in between, can carry out these 7 life processes. The first is movement. Some organisms move very obviously, like a cheetah, the fastest animal on the planet, which can run at 60 miles per hour. Other organisms, like plants, move much more slowly, but all living things do move. The second is respiration. Respiration is a process that occurs in cells to release energy that is stored in food. Organisms have evolved slightly different ways of doing this, but all living things need energy to live, and this is how they release it. The third is sensitivity. In order for a living organism to survive, it needs to be able to sense its environment. It could be to find food or shelter or avoid predators, but all living things have evolved at least simple senses to do this. Humans have the 5 senses of touch, taste, sight, sound and smell, which gives us a very clear understanding of our environment. The fourth process is growth. All organisms grow. In basic organisms, the cell gets a little bit bigger. In more complex organisms, you get more and more cells. Animals tend to stop growing in adulthood, but some plants can continue growing and get very big. In fact, the biggest living organism on the planet isn't a plant, it's a fungus. It's a type of honey fungus growing in Oregon and is thought to be 2.4 miles across. Fifth is reproduction. Some organisms can reproduce on their own, such as bacteria. This is called asexual reproduction. Others carry out sexual reproduction using a male and a female of the species. Bacteria can reproduce every 20 minutes, but an African elephant takes 22 months to carry its baby. Excretion is the sixth process. This is not the same as pooing, which is actually called egestion. But excretion means getting rid of waste from chemical reactions in the organism. Respiration, for example, makes waste products, and each organism needs to get rid of these. This is called excretion. The final process is nutrition. Every living organism needs some sort of food. Plants can make their own food by the process of photosynthesis, but all other organisms have to get their food from somewhere else. However, the process of obtaining food by either way is called nutrition. So there you have it, the 7 life processes. You can remember them easily by learning the phrase Mrs. Gren. Movement, respiration, sensitivity, growth, reproduction, excretion, and nutrition.
Alright, welcome back. What did we learn from this lesson? We learned that things in the environment can be grouped into 2, living and non-living. And there are 7 characteristics of living things. These are irritability, movement, nutrition, growth, respiration, excretion, and reproduction. For us to remember the characteristics of living things, we could learn this acronym, Mrs. Gren. M stands for movement, R stands for respiration, S, sensitivity, G, growth, R, reproduction, E, excretion, and N, nutrition. Mrs. Gren would help you to remember these characteristics. Your task for this lesson. I have 4 pictures there on the screen. You're going to tell me which characteristic is displayed in each picture. First, we're going to look at the one with the grasshopper. You could tell me which characteristic is displayed there. Very good. It's growth. The grasshopper grew from a very small one into a very large grasshopper. Then we're moving on now to the cheetah. What characteristic is displayed there? Excellent. Movement. We're going to go with the one with the plant and the finger. Excellent. Irritability, or you could say respond to a stimulus. And the one with the bird. Very good. Nutrition. The bird is feeding. Alright, that brings us to the end of our lesson. I hope you learned a lot about yourself and the things around you. Goodbye, children. See you next time.